How's it going, everybody? This is Bang Bang Bow, and I have another quick video for you on one of my favorite pistols in my collection. And this is going to be a Browning high power standard in a full, I think it's a Satin Chrome in 40 Smith and Wesson. It does have what appears to be a gold plated trigger. And like I said, that nice, beautiful satin chrome finish. The firearm's unloaded, I'll show you in a second. Okay, it's a 10 round 40 Smith and Wesson. You can get a conversion barrel for this firearm so that it can shoot from 40 Smith and Wesson to 9mm. All you would have to do is get a 9mm magazine, which are, I believe, 15 round magazines. You can find 10 round magazines for those in the more restrictive states like myself. It does have a magazine safety disconnect, which I believe you can remove, which I'll get to in a second, just like the 9mm barrel considerations. It is tempting, and I'll go into that right now. So I'll drop the hammer. Well, first, actually, adjustable rear sights. You could paint the front to let yourself see it a little bit better, but I don't really need to. There's kind of a little beaver tail there. I don't think, you know, maybe some people might get some slide bite, but I don't think it's really going to matter that much. I'll show you what the trigger looks like when you pull it from both sides. So it's a nice clean break, but it's kind of squishy, and you have to pull it a little bit harder than, you know, it feels like it should be. And I think that's because some people said it has a magazine safety disconnect. This is the safety itself. Can't pull it. It's ambidextrous, which I know people like. Then the bolt, it has a last round bolt hold open. Okay. As you can see, again, it's really in immaculate condition. I can't believe, again, this was a used firearm. Almost all my firearms I purchased used. There's like one mark on it, I think, in the front. Hold on one second. Drop this back down. Yeah, like right there. I don't even know if, yeah, you can kind of barely see like a scrape. That's it. And I think that might just be from the firearm itself. But other than that, it's you're not going to find anything on it that's, you know, damage-wise. So, moving on, the reason why I don't upgrade this or mess around with this, like taking away the magazine safety disconnect or getting a replacement barrel and spring and magazine to shoot a different caliber, is because when I found this pistol, I'll just go through the story with you real quick. Long story short, though, this is very valuable. To the point where I'm surprised how valuable it is, and I'll get to that after my story. So the way I found this, it's like one of my favorite stories. Oops, I literally just scared myself. It's one of my favorite stories. I walked into the gun shop, and I had a revolver for sale. It was a Smith and Wesson 327. It was like an 8-shot revolver. I'd been trying to sell it for a while. I just didn't like shooting it. It was meant for concealed carry, and I can't conceal carry in New Jersey, or open carry for that matter. So, you know, I was just trying to get rid of it. I didn't like shooting it. It just was, it was cool, but it just didn't, it no longer, I basically got it for the looks, and I regretted it. One of those purchases, a long time from now, I might end up wanting that firearm back, but I digress. So I see this sitting in the display case. And this is right around the time that I realized Browning high powers were just stopping production. They weren't going to be in production anymore. So I was keeping an eye out, because I know when the main, you know, company stops making them, they, you know, tend to go up in value. So basically, I point over to it and I'm like, hey, yeah, can I take a look at that high power over there? And they look over at the counter and you make, oh, you mean that 1911 over there? And I was like, oh, this is going to be good, because they didn't know what they had. And boy, they did not know what they had. So I'm looking at it, and you know, basically the first thing that catches my eye is right in there. It said caliber 40 Smith and Wesson. I'm like, oh, this isn't a high power, must be a knockoff or something, you know, in 40 Smith and Wesson, because I'd never heard of a 40 Smith and Wesson high power. Because again, I didn't really look into it. I just heard that they stopped producing them. So at the time, I didn't know much about high powers. So I look at it, whatever. It was, the tag on it was like $660. The revolver I was selling, it was the price I had up there. It was basically like pawning it for like 900-ish, 850. So, and it did come, I apologize, with the original Pachmeyer grips, the 2 magazines, and no box. This is what it looked like with the Pachmeyers, basically. Kind of ugly and you know, unassuming. I think even just with these grips, they probably would have done a little bit more looking into the firearm. But anyway, so I go home, I research this a little bit. I like to take photos of firearms if I'm not sure about them and kind of sleep on it. So I'm looking, you know, online, Gunbroker and everything, and I see a couple of these. I see one, you know, the bid's for $1,100. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. You know, like already it's double what they're selling it for. So I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to buy this. And then I realized, oh, that was a 9mm. So I'm looking around for one in 40 Smith & Wesson. There were like 2 or 3 that listed like $1,800, $1,900, some into like $2,000 with the original box manual and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy that. So I went in the next day, and I'm like, you know, trying not to act excited. And I traded my revolver for this. So they thought they were getting a good deal, because the revolver itself was like, I don't even know what they were thinking, to be honest. Like, you're a gun shop, you should be researching these things. Like, I bought a 1913 vest pocket pistol from Colt for like $200, and the gun was worth like $800. Like, I just don't understand. And I mean, like, where you could easily, like, if I put this up, like, so essentially the revolver, I got that revolver for like $875, and I traded it for like a $660 pistol. And this is, when I got this was like mid 2019, I think, just for reference, price reference. So even at $900, you know, this gun is trading for, or selling double that. I just don't understand why, like, what they were thinking. But anyway, it worked out in my favor. I got a really cool pistol, and it's worth a lot of money, and I enjoy having it taken out. It's a safe queen, I'm not gonna lie. And the reason why I don't want to play around with it at all is because it's apparently it's worth a lot of money to some people, and it's just a really cool pistol, and it looks really good with these wood grips, and I don't want to mess around with it. I'm just wary of it. In theory, I guess 9mm, if this thing was built for 40 Smith & Wesson, 9mm should be less brutal on, you know, the gun itself, but who knows, maybe eventually I'll do it. The barrel itself, I think it's websites like Barstow Precision, like BARSTO.com or something like that. It's like $300 for like a conversion barrel. They offer like porting, like an extended one that's ported, threaded. So, you know, there's some cool options. I'll roll in some footage, if I can, of me shooting this pistol. It might be a little awkward. Again, I haven't been shooting as long as you guys, but I'm going to try to put this footage in right here. Ready? And hopefully I just put that video in and you saw me shooting it. So that's really all I have for you guys. It's a nice shooting pistol. It looks beautiful. If you see one, especially for, it was basically someone could have walked into that shop and paid $700 with the background check, tax, everything, and probably a box of ammo. They could have walked out with this pistol for $700. So trading that for the 327, I think I still got a steal for it. beautiful satin chrome high power in 40 Smith and Wesson. I don't know if it's actually gold on here, but you know, a gold plated trigger looks nice, complements the wood. You know, it's not my favorite gun in the world to shoot, but it's beautiful, and I'm happy with it. And I really wanted to get this video out for a long time to share this with you, because I know that there aren't many out there, you know, at least videos of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I have a lot more cool stuff that I love to share with you guys. So if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, commenting on the video. If I said something dumb, feel free to point it out. If I did something dumb, especially point it out. I don't mind. And you know, if anyone can learn from me, that's even better. And you know, maybe tell me about a gun shop experience you've had where you walked into the shop and you feel like you got extremely lucky, because I've been having a lot of those situations. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Bo, and I appreciate you guys watching this video.